Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Promine Tip of the Month. For this session, we'll be looking into our Mine Planning module, which is inside our category for Engineering 1. This module allows users to easily plan the mine by inserting drifts, tasks, and mining blocks with production targets and preliminary dates. All this data can be quickly modified when the plan changes and can be visualized in the reports. First, we'll open up the Options menu where we can configure all the options for our module. For example, we have the option to edit and add resources, materials, categories, destinations, drift types, mining blocks, and task types, as well as add calendars, set dates, import configurations, select ore conditions, and add links, as well as set default values for grades and the drift radius. First, we'll be inserting our drift with the insert command and selecting drift. We select a starting point and an endpoint for our drift. Once we're done, we'll click on enter and add a name for our drift. Select a type, which would be development. Set a default rate. You can also add grades, set your starting and end elevation, as well as set a default grade, and add predecessors, which you can add them from the set of layers and apply filters, or you can select them directly from your screen. This would be our predecessor, and select the date type, which would be either as soon as possible or to start on a fixed date. Selecting the correct predecessors is an important part so the advance rates can be calculated correctly. Once we're done, we can click on OK, and our drift is now created. Now to insert our task, we'll go back to Insert and select Task, and we can select a different set of tasks. For this example, we'll be working with the Stope Drill and Blast. Click on OK, and select the location for our task. We can add a name, which will be Stope 1200 110 cut. And we'll add a duration of 14 days. And the type that we already selected will be Stope Drill and Blast. And again, select our predecessor from our drawing. And the date type will be as soon as possible. So once we're done, we click on OK. And we have our task created with a duration of 14 days, a start date, an end date, and a delay, as well as a percentage of completion. Now for our mining block, we go back to Insert and select Mining Block. And we have different types of mining blocks that we can enter. For this example, we'll be working with a 200 ton per day at a $100 per ton cost. We can click on OK and select the location for our mining block. We can also add a name, which would be Stope 1200 110. For our block type, which we already selected a 200 ton per day, our default rate, as well as the tonnage for our stope, which will be for 9,000 tons. We can also add the grades for our stopes, and again select our predecessors. We can also add the starting date and delays, but once we're done, we can click on OK. And our mining block is already inserted with our name, the duration, the start and end date, as well as the tonnage and the extraction rate. Now that we have our drifts, tasks, and mining blocks, we can proceed to insert our reports, and we can select the different types of reports that we have available. For this example, we'll be working with an advanced report, and we just select all of our objects. And we have the option to select the time division. We'll set it to weekly. The output type can be either a graph or a file or both. I'll be working with just a graph. And the date range, we'll set it to automatic, so it can be taken from all the drifts that we already created, and we'll show in subdivisions. Once we're done, we can set our graph, our report, and zoom in to see the advance rate per week, as well as select an advanced reference. We can continue to add more reports. For example, we'll insert a tonnage, ore, and waste report. Again, we select our objects, and we'll select the time divisions. We'll set it to weekly. The output type will be graph. The date range will be automatic. It'll be set to the dates that we already inserted in our drifts. And we'll show subdivisions, as well as add the ore conditions. Once we're done, we can insert our graphs. And for this case, there are two graphs because one is for the tonnage waste per week, which will be the starting for the development, and then for when we will be extracting our ore. And we can insert one more report, which will be our Gantt chart. We select again all of our objects and select the time division, which will be weekly, the output type, the date range. The annotations will be for the duration and show progress of each task. Once we're done, we can select the location for our Gantt chart, and we can see the advance rate for each type of development for each week. With this we can conclude our tip of the month. If you have any questions or comments, you can please leave them down in the comment section below or email us at info@promine.com for more information. Thank you for watching and have a great day.